The law of universal gravitation, or simply the law of gravity, states the force with which two bodies attract each other simply because they have mass. This law was developed by Sir Isaac Newton in the third book of his work Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy, entitled On the System of the World. The importance of this law becomes apparent when we observe that it explains phenomena such as the tides, the periodic appearance of comets, the movement of artificial satellites and the arrival of man on the Moon. It also allows us to dream of journeys to other planets, other solar systems and even other galaxies. In the 1850s, Darwin wrote a controversial and influential book called The Origin of Species. In it, he proposed that species evolve, or, as he put it, have descent with modification, and that all living things can trace their ancestry to a common ancestor. In the first edition of On the Origin of Species, Darwin explains how the different species of living things have originated through the action of natural selection, from a common ancestor. And thus he also took a clear stand against the possibility that species have been created independently. This was the cause of enormous criticism from different religious sectors because it eliminated the idea of a creator acting in such a process. The controversy centered on the fact that the final summary sentence of the work did not include such a creator anywhere.
In 1865, the Scottish physicist James Clerk Maxwell formulated the classical theory of electromagnetism, deducing that light is made up of electric and magnetic fields propagating through space. A theory that led to the prediction of the existence of radio waves and radio communications. Maxwell also derived another that led him to predict the existence of waves of an electromagnetic nature capable of propagating at the speed of light. Maxwell unified the electric and magnetic forces by means of four mathematical equations. He also proved their relationship to the speed of light. Why remains a mystery. The electric constant divided by the magnetic constant gives exactly the speed of light.
On 10 March 1876, he transmitted the first ever sentence by telephone. It was in 1876 during the Centennial Exposition in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, that his invention was definitively launched to the world and led him to organize the Bell Telephone Company in 1877. In 1874, while working on a multiple telegraph, he developed the basic ideas of what was to become the telephone. He successfully tested his experiments on 10 March 1876 and his research enabled him to obtain a patent for the telephone in America in the same year. In the summer of 1991, researchers at the European Particle Physics Laboratory CERN launched a program called the World Wide Web. It consisted of a set of protocols that operated on top of the Internet protocols and allowed very flexible and widespread access to information stored on the network in a variety of formats. As with the Internet, it was this feature of access to all kinds of formats, machines, operating systems and standards that made its use rapidly widespread. Berners-Lee launched the world's first web server and the world's first web page. And, after a process of refinement and testing, the first public version of the software debuted on 6 August 1991.